Okay, so have you ever stopped to think about the avocado seed? You know, the part we usually toss without a second thought.
I think we all have, right? It seems like such a waste, especially with all the focus on sustainability these days.
Exactly. And as someone who's really into natural ways to boost fertility, I've been seeing more and more about avocado seeds being this hidden gem.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a hot topic. People are really starting to see food as medicine, particularly when it comes to reproductive health.
Totally. And what's so interesting is that we already think of avocados as being good for fertility. So to think that the seed itself could be even more potent.
Right. It really makes you wonder what you've been missing out on all these years.
I know. So, you know how we're always told to load up on antioxidants for better health?
Mm.
What's the deal with the antioxidants in avocado seeds?
Well, with the avocado, we usually think about the flesh being the nutritious part, right?
Yeah.
But the seed actually packs even more of a punch when it comes to antioxidants.
Really? So even more than the avocado itself?
You got it. Like, way more.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's pretty incredible, right? And it's not just the quantity, it's the types of antioxidants they contain that are really interesting.
Okay, so it's not as simple as just looking for any antioxidant.
Exactly. So avocado seeds, they're particularly rich in something called proanthocyanidins, and those have actually shown some promising results in studies looking at egg quality.
Oh, wow. See, I'd heard about proanthocyanidins for like vascular health, but I had never made that connection to egg quality before.
Yeah, it's still an area that needs more research, but those early findings, they're definitely promising, especially if you're looking for natural ways to support fertility.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got the antioxidants. We're always told to eat our fiber too, but what role does fiber play in fertility, and what's special about the fiber in avocado seeds?
Well, that's a great question. You know, we usually think of fiber in terms of digestion,
Right,
keeping things moving,
right.
but it goes way beyond that. Avocado seeds are an excellent source of fiber, and the cool thing here is that it acts as a prebiotic.
Prebiotics, so that's what feeds the good bacteria in our gut, right?
Exactly. And, those good gut bacteria, they play a key role in our insulin sensitivity.
Ah,
And insulin sensitivity, that's what directly impacts hormonal balance, which, as we know, is super important for fertility, for both men and women.
right, right. So it's all connected. You have the fiber impacting your gut health, which then affects your hormonal balance.
You got it, like a chain reaction.
Now, speaking of hormones, I've also read a bit about avocado seeds being helpful for managing inflammation. And I know, chronic inflammation, that's never good.
Mhm.
But what makes it such a concern when it comes to fertility specifically?
Yeah, that's a really important point, because chronic inflammation, it can be sneaky. It's not always obvious, but it can really impact both male and female reproductive systems.
In what ways?
Well, in men, it can actually affect sperm quality. And in women, it can disrupt hormonal balance and even impact the uterine lining,
Oh, wow.
which obviously can make it harder to conceive.
So it's not like just taking an ibuprofen to deal with a headache. This is really getting at a deeper issue that could be affecting the whole system.
Exactly. And, there are a lot of different factors that can contribute to chronic inflammation, right? Diet, lifestyle, stress.
Right, right. It's never just one thing.
Exactly. So when we look at addressing it, it's about taking a holistic approach. And that's what's so intriguing about avocado seeds, because they kind of tick a lot of boxes.
Okay, so how might they be working to counteract that inflammation?
Well, avocado seeds contain several compounds that have anti-inflammatory effects. So researchers are looking into whether they might have a similar impact specifically on the reproductive system.
Got it. It makes sense. So I'm thinking about trying to conceive, and one thing I've always found to be so important is good circulation. After all, it affects everything, right?
Oh, absolutely. Blood flow is key.
So does that play into what we know about avocado seeds?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point to bring up, because for both men and women, healthy blood flow to the reproductive organs is essential. Now, more research is needed to say for sure about a direct link between avocado seeds and circulation.
Oh, okay.
But there are benefits in other areas, like what we're talking about with the antioxidants.
Right.
Those can actually have an indirect impact.
How so?
Well, antioxidants can help protect our blood vessels from damage, which in turn supports healthy blood flow.
Ah,
So it's kind of like keeping those pipes clean and clear,
I like that. That's a great way to think about it. So while we might not have studies yet that specifically say avocado seeds boost blood flow to the uterus,
Right.
it's definitely plausible that all of their benefits, like the antioxidants, contribute to a healthier system overall.
Exactly. It's about looking at the big picture, and how all of these different systems in our body work together.
Speaking of interconnected systems, I've been trying to learn more about this whole hormonal detox thing. I know our liver plays a huge role there. Can you break that down for me a bit? Like, how does it all work?
Sure. It sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
So our liver is like this amazing filter, right? It's constantly working to filter out waste products from our blood.
Yeah.
And that includes excess hormones.
Okay.
And, just like with anything, too much of a good thing can throw things off balance.
Yeah.
So if we have excess hormones hanging around,
That's not good.
not good. It can actually interfere with fertility.
Oh, wow. So basically, if the liver isn't functioning optimally, you could end up with this buildup of hormones that could be hindering conception.
Exactly. Now, we don't have specific studies yet on avocado seeds and liver function in this exact context.
Okay.
But traditionally, avocado seeds have been used to support liver health.
Okay.
So there's this idea that by potentially helping the liver do its job, avocado seeds might also indirectly help regulate those hormone levels.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's like we're always talking about supporting our gut health.
Right.
Maybe we should be giving the same attention to our liver. It makes you wonder what else we're missing by just chucking that avocado seed.
I know. It really is fascinating. There's so much more to learn about it.
So let's say I'm convinced. I want to try incorporating avocado seeds. Am I like eating this thing whole? Because honestly, that sounds a little rough.
I get it. Yeah. Well, you technically can eat it raw. It's definitely not the most, let's say, palatable way to enjoy its benefits.
Yeah.
It's a little bitter. And the texture, not great.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But luckily, there are other, much more manageable ways to incorporate it.
Okay, good. Like what?
Well, avocado seed powder has become super popular.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. You can usually find it online or in health food stores pretty easily.
Okay.
And it actually has this mild, nutty flavor. It's really versatile. You can add it to smoothies, soups, even baked goods.
Got it. Okay, so no need to be gnawing on the seed hole.
No, not unless you really want to.
I think I'll stick with the powder. Now, what about dosage? Is there a specific amount you'd recommend for someone who's specifically interested in those fertility benefits?
Unfortunately, research on optimal dosage for fertility specifically is still in its early stages.
Okay.
I always recommend starting small, see how your body reacts, and go from there.
Good advice. Better safe than sorry, especially when trying to conceive.
Exactly. And of course, it's always best to talk to your doctor or fertility specialist before making any big changes to your diet, especially if you're trying to get pregnant.
Absolutely. Personalized guidance is key, right? What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. We're all different. But it's so interesting to think that this little seed, something we usually throw away, could have so many potential benefits. It really shows you the power of nature and how much more there is to discover.
I know, right? It just shows you shouldn't underestimate the power of nature.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder what other amazing things are out there just waiting to be discovered.
It really does. Speaking of discoveries, earlier, we briefly touched on some potential benefits of avocado seeds beyond fertility. Like, I've heard about possible disease-fighting properties. What's the latest on that front?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the most exciting areas of research,
Oh,
especially when it comes to cardiovascular health.
heart health is so important, and it feels like everything kind of ties back to it in some way.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
It really is foundational. And that's what's so interesting about these seeds. Because some studies, they're suggesting avocado seed extract might actually help lower cholesterol levels and even blood pressure.
Wow. Now, those are some major benefits. I mean, we're talking about two big risk factors for heart disease right there.
Exactly. It's pretty incredible. And researchers believe it's because of the unique combination of things in the seeds, the fiber, those powerful antioxidants, and other beneficial plant compounds. They all seem to be working together.
So it's that synergy we were talking about earlier, like a team effort for a healthier heart.
You got it. And for example, the fiber in the seeds, it can actually bind to cholesterol in the gut. So it's literally helping prevent it from being absorbed into your bloodstream in the first place.
Wow. And then the antioxidants come in doing their thing, protecting your blood vessels from damage.
Exactly. They're like this incredible cleanup crew fighting off those harmful free radicals.
It's amazing how all of those benefits we talked about earlier, antioxidants, the fiber, it all ties together.
It really is remarkable.
Yeah.
And, we also touched on blood sugar regulation earlier.
Right. With the prebiotic fiber and all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's even more to it than that. Some research is suggesting that avocado seed extract, it might actually help improve insulin sensitivity.
Okay, now that's huge. I mean, for people with type 2 diabetes or even those at risk, that could be a game changer.
Absolutely. And while Of course, more research is always needed.
Of course.
It's definitely a very promising area to be looking at.
Wow, it's amazing to think about all of this potential packed into one little seed.
I know. Who knew?
It really is incredible. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I gotta say, I feel so hopeful, so empowered, like we're really just scratching the surface of what food can do for us.
Absolutely. And that's what's so exciting about all of this, the future of nutrition and health. I think it's going to be incredible. And I have a feeling, we're going to be hearing a lot more about the amazing avocado seed in the years to come.
I can't wait. Well, for now, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this incredible deep dive. It's been absolutely fascinating learning from you.
The pleasure was all mine. I could talk about this stuff all day.
I can tell. And to all of our amazing listeners out there, thank you for being here. We always say knowledge is power. And now that you know all about the potential of the amazing avocado seed, we hope you'll keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep prioritizing your health.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. We want to hear from you.
Exactly. So if you have thoughts on avocado seeds, recipes, questions, anything, share them with us on social media. Just use the hashtag avocado seed potential. We'll be checking it out. Until next time, keep diving deep.